Good evening. We return again to the story of Caius, the finest Dunmer spellsword courier, and Tamriel, the eternal champion, currently on a mission to find some ways to level up in the Mages Guild. Yes, we took a job to try and kill an imp. We'll do that right now. Assuming I can find my way out. Dunbeth Hamlet. So there's not a lot that I need to do on this one here. If I want, I can investigate some of the stores and whatnot. But what I really need to look for is an opportunity to level up some of my skills. We could of course also visit Sentinel and spend our winters in some place a bit more warm. Oh, that was convenient. Normally there isn't anything for me here, but it doesn't hurt to take a look. At the moment we don't really have any solid leads in terms of pursuing what's happening in Daggerfall. We know eventually we'll be going after a totem, but at the moment I'm perfectly content to explore some of the other opportunities that we've had presented in front of us. Well, that was nice of him to put me in a wall. Really, I can't climb over this. Alright, mission accomplished. Let's just go back to the Mages Guild and find something else to do. I did forget to get some water at the beginning of this cast, so I will wait until I can't bear it anymore, and there might be a small break while I get some refreshment. This is going to take a while to deal with, because the Mages Guild doesn't open for a while. But perhaps I can find a place to sell these. No pawn shops, it looks like. Well, we'll at least try to find the bank. hours for the bank just because it'll help me, it'll help me pass the time. It'll also lighten my load. I don't have that much. This is still quite a bit to be holding on to, but the main reasoning is if I can get some training in, then I want to do that. Just another bank. All right. I'll maybe see if we can sell the gem that I've got. Normally I can't get a good price, but it doesn't hurt.
The shop is better appointed than many. Its wares lie neatly on the shelves. Although not fit for a king, all are skillfully crafted. It warms my heart to see you, Caius.
I was hoping to buy and sell, but pleasure to meet you as well. Am I in the right place? Alright, well, that's supposed to be a store. We'll go to the general store. And again, at this point, this is a lot more about just getting rid of items. Alright, there might be some sense in visiting the Fighters Guild, but Mages Guild is probably my main focus. Although I suppose the Fighters Guild would give me a chance to do some training. So I can't train a long blade, but maybe an axe. And I think I'm going to start focusing on destruction. I'll only load her the 1 hour because 5 minutes shouldn't take too long. Although I guess we don't have much that we can do. So it might be the longest 5 minutes I've ever experienced.
The shop is laid out in a practical and straightforward manner. All the items seem to be of adequate construction. Tough little beggar, eh? Well, you've certainly earned your pay. My name is Mordnak Woodfield. We need someone to kill a rogue imp for us. Are you interested? The job pays 480 gold.
Sure, I just did one.
Fine attitude, Caius. There's one thing I did not tell you. This imp was a familiar to a very high-ranking mage. It seems the imp fell into an experimental spell and has been imbued with all manner of spell-like powers. You can find the creature at the Palace of Aldingwall. Apparently it thinks it is fit to rule. Do be careful, Caius. If you are not back within 14 days, we shall assume that you are dead.
I want to train.
You and the trainer practice for 3 hours. The trainer tells you to reflect on what you've learned and to see if you can put it to good use.
I'm going the wrong way. Take a quick trip to the Fighters Guild just to, yeah, this is hopeless. I'll take a quick trip to the Fighters Guild just to see if there's something that I can train, to sort of raise my level. Not much I can do about the long blades, but I figure I can train in other weapons. And maybe what I'll do is I'll focus on the one that I've got the highest, so it's actually blunt weapons that I have a higher level in.
Incense and soft music soothe your nerves as you cross the threshold. Each item in this shop is carefully mounted and displayed. Not the slightest defect can be detected on any item within. Congratulations, Caius. Because of your outstanding weaponry prowess, we have promoted you to the rank of Master in the Guild. Among other benefits, the increase means cheaper weapon repair and more profitable work assignments.
Great news.
Listen, Caius, if you hadn't already done a bunch of jobs for us already, I wouldn't even suggest this, but there's a job I don't even want to tell you about. It sounds like crying for the moon, and more dangerous, it's offering a Lich in Chrysantha Cultus, and it only pays 411 gold. You're not interested, are you?
Why not? How hard could a Lich be? Oh yeah. Spectacularly. Let's do this.
I knew I shouldn't have mentioned it. Listen, if you're really going to go do this, get the best stuff you can. Magic stuff, ebony blades, what have you. The Lich has to cross into oblivion in 32 days, and you got to be back here within that time to get your reward. You're unbelievable, Caius. Good luck. You're going to need it.
I'm doomed, aren't I? now I only get one training a day. Alright, let's deal with the imp first. Normally the palace is pretty obvious. Oh, apparently we've been here before. I'm sure all the townspeople are like, this guy again. Crypt of Lithavan. Again, fairly unlikely I'm going to be able to investigate all of these, but it's nice to write down just to know which locations I've discovered. I hate being wet. I'm gonna say we won't need the dwarven katana for now. Someone's mocking me. Alright, never mind then. Apparently we're invading a nudist colony. I was hoping to get the backstabs in just for more skills, but doesn't seem to be happening. Yeah, I'm not going over that hole yet. Oh, you're kidding me. Oh, I was crouched. Well, gives me a chance to heal, I guess. Can I do that? I do that speed up just to avoid a bunch of tedious reloading for the jump. Apparently sorcerers get to— Jesus Christ! That was fun. So let's see if we can beat him without any fortification. Run for your lives!
Puny mortal, you should not have attempted to interfere with the affairs of the undead. I shall now add you to my collection of slain dark elf mercenaries.
Yikes. So all the resistances are too high for me. Alright, let's see what magic we can try. Fight me, you coward. That was a save versus spell. I mean, maybe melee's not the way to go here. how many volumes of A Brief History of the Empire we've read, so I think I'm going to try picking that up. Alright, that's that. What I might try and do here. I think I'm going to try and go back to my my wagon and drop all this off. And then we'll maybe see if we can do a little more looting. That's obviously not where we were coming from. The open door should have been an indicator, but or the closed door should have been an indicator, but there we go. I'm not going to dump the books just yet, because I'd like to know which ones I've already read. Okay, so now I'm going to take the time to see whether or not I've read Brief History of the Empire. Lesson here as well. I need to make sure that I bring resistance potions with me. They really shouldn't be getting all these ingredients. They wind up wasting a bunch of time. Okay, so we do have volume 1. Well, then that's a lucky find, I guess. Oh wait, that's part 3. Nope. Alright, nice.
A Brief History of the Empire, Part 2. Volume 1 of this series described in brief the lives of the first 8 emperors of the Septim dynasty, beginning with the forebear, Tiber Septim, and ending with his great-great-great-great-grandniece, Kintara II. Kintara's murder in Glenpoint while in captivity is considered by some to be the end of the pure strain of the Septim blood. Certainly, it marks the end of something. Uriel III not only proclaimed himself Emperor of Tamriel, but also proclaimed himself Uriel Septim III, taking a surname as a title. In truth, his surname was Uriel Manticaro from his father. In time, Uriel III was deposed and his crimes revealed. reviled, but the tradition of taking the name Septim as a title for the Emperor of Tamriel did not die with him. For 6 years, the War of the Red Diamond tore apart the empire. The combatants were the 3 surviving children of Pelagius II, Potema, Sepphoris, and Magnus, and their offspring. Potema, of course, supported her son Uriel III, and had the support of all of Skyrim and northern Morrowind. With the efforts of Sepphoris and Magnus, High Rock turned. Hammerfell, Somerset Isle, Valenwood, Elsweyr, and Blackmarsh were divided, but most kings supported Sepphoris and Magnus. In the Third Era, 127, Uriel III was captured in the Battle of Ikdag and Hammerfell. En route to his trial in the Imperial City, a mob overtook his carriage and burned him alive within it. His captor and uncle continued on to the Imperial City. By common acclaim, was proclaimed Sepphoris I, Emperor of Tamriel. Sepphoris' reign is marked by nothing but war. By all accounts, he was a kind and intelligent man, but what Tamriel needed was a great warrior, and he was that. It took an additional 10 years of constant warfare for him to defeat his sister Potema. The so-called Wolf Queen of Solitude died in the siege of her city-state in the year of 137. Sepphoris only survived his sister by 3 years. Sepphoris never had the time during the war years to marry, so it was his brother, the 4th child of Pelagius II, who assumed the throne. The Emperor Magnus was elderly, and the business of punishing the traitorous kings of the War of the Red Diamond drained much of his health. Legend also accuses Magnus's son and heir Pelagius III of murder, but that seems very unlikely. For no other reason, Pelagius was king of Solitude, following the death of Potema, and seldom visited the imperial city. Pelagius III, sometimes called Pelagius the Mad, was proclaimed emperor in the 145th year of the Third Era. Almost from the start, his eccentricities of behavior was noted. He embarrassed dignitaries, offended his vassal kings, and, on one occasion, marked the end of a grand ball by attempting to hang himself. His long-suffering wife was finally awarded the regency of Tamriel, and Pelagius III was sent to a series of healers and asylums until his death in the Third Era 153 at the age of 34. The Empress Regent of Tamriel was proclaimed Empress Cataryth I upon the death of her husband. Some, who do not mark the end of the Septim bloodline with the death of Kintara II, considered the ascendancy of this dark elf woman as the true mark. Her defenders assert that though Cataryth was not descended from Tyberd, the son that she had with Pelagius was, and so the chain does continue. Despite the racist assertions to the contrary, Cataryth's 46-year reign was one of the most glorious in Tamriel's history. Uncomfortable in the imperial city, Catariah traveled extensively throughout the empire, such as no emperor ever had since Tiber's day. She repaired much of the damage the broken alliances and bungled diplomacy had created. The people of Tamriel came to love their empress far more than the nobility did. Catariah's death in a minor skirmish in Blackmark is a favorite source for conspiracy-minded historians. The sage Montalius's discovery of a disenfranchised branch of the Septim family's involvement with the skirmish was a revelation indeed. When Cassander assumed the throne at the death of his mother, he was already middle-aged. Only half-elven, he aged like a Breton. In fact, he had left the rule of Wayrest to his half-brother Uriel due to poor health. Nevertheless, as the only true blood relation of Pelagius and thus Tiber, he was pressed into accepting the throne. To no one's surprise, the Emperor Cassander's reign did not last long. In 2 years he was dead. Uriel Lariat, Cassander's half-brother, the child of Catariah I and her imperial consort Lariat, left the kingdom of Wayrest to reign as Uriel IV. Legally, Uriel IV was a Septim. Cassander had adopted him into the family when he had become the king of Wayrest. Nevertheless, to the council and the people of Tamriel, he was a bastard child of Catariah. Uriel did not possess the dynamism of his mother, and his long 43-year reign was a hotbed of sedition. Uriel IV's story is told in the 3rd volume of this series. Now, before I go any further, I'm just going to grab some water, so I will be back in just a moment. A Brief History of the Empire, Part 3. The first volume of this series tells, in brief, the story of the succession of the first 8 emperors of the Septim dynasty, from Tiber I to Kintara II. The second volume described the War of the Red Diamond and the 6 emperors that followed its aftermath, Uriel III to Cassander I. At the end of that volume, I described how Emperor Cassander's half-brother, Uriel IV, assumed the throne of the Empire of Tamriel. It will be recalled that Uriel IV was not a Septim by birth. His mother, though she reigned as empress for many years, was a dark elf married to a true Septim emperor, Pelagius III. His father was Catariah the First's consort after Pelagius's death, and during her reign, a Breton nobleman named Galavir Lariat. Before taking the throne of the empire, Cassander I had ruled the kingdom of Wayrest, but poor health had forced him to retire. Cassander had no children, so he legally adopted his half-brother Uriel and gave him the kingdom. 7 years later, Cassander inherited the empire at the death of his mother. 3 years after that, Uriel found himself the recipient of Cassander's inheritance once again. Uriel IV's reign was a difficult and a long one. Despite being a legally adopted member of the Septim family, and despite the Lariat family's high position, indeed they were distant cousins of the Septims, few of the Elder Council could be persuaded to accept him fully as a blood relation of Tiber. The council had assumed much responsibility during Catariah I's long reign, and Cassander I's short reign. A strong-willed alien monarch like Uriel IV found it impossible to hold their unswerving fealty. Time and time again, the council and emperor were at odds, and time again, the council won the battles. Since the days of Pelagius II, the Elder Council had consisted of the wealthiest men and women in the empire, and the power they wielded was ultimate. The council's last victory over Uriel IV was posthumous. Andorak, Uriel IV's son, was disinherited by vote of the council, and a cousin more closely related to the original Septim line was proclaimed Sepphoris II in the Third Era 268. Sepphoris had been a Nordic king for the first 9 years of Sepphoris II's reign. Those loyal to Andorak battled the imperial forces. In an act that the sage Eretane called Tiber Septim's Heart Beating No More, the council granted Andorak the High Rock kingdom of Stornhelm to end the war. Andorak's descendants still ruled that land. Of course, Sepphoris II had foes that demanded more of his attention than Andorak. From out of a nightmare in the worlds of Eretane, a man who called himself the Camoran Usurper had led an army of Daedra and undead warriors on a rampage through Valenwood, conquering kingdom after kingdom. None could resist his onslaughts as month turned to Bloody Month in the year Third Era 249. Even fewer tried. Sepphoris II sent more and more mercenaries into Hammerfell to stop the usurper's northward march, but they were bribed, turned into undead, or slaughtered. The story of the Camoran usurper does deserve a book of its own. I recommend the reader find Palix Ilthrer's The Fall of the Usurper for more detail. In short, the destruction of the forces of the usurper had little to do with the efforts of the emperor. The results was a great regional victory and an increase in hostility towards a seemingly inefficacious empire. Uriel V turned opinion back toward the potential power of the empire. Turning the attention of Tamriel away from internal strife, Uriel V embarked on a series of invasions, beginning almost from the moment that he took the throne in the Third Era 268. Uriel V conquered Roscrea in 271, Cathnake in 276, Yanelza in 279, and Ezraniet in 284. In the Third Era 288, he embarked on his most ambitious enterprise, the invasion of the continent kingdom of Akavir. This was ultimately a failure, for 2 years after, Uriel V was killed in Akavir on the battlefield of Ionith. Nevertheless, Uriel V holds a reputation second only to Tiber as a great warrior and emperor of Tamriel. The last 4 emperors, beginning with Uriel V's infant son, are described in the 4th and final volume of this series.
So I have to find that, I guess. Oh, we have 2 copies of number 2. we'll go on a little bit of a treasure hunt, but for the most part, I think I'm just gonna take what I've got and head back. Holy smokes. Fight me! That was fun. I always complain about having too many ingredients, but that doesn't stop me from picking them up. I need to be a little careful because I don't actually have any way of healing myself. Oh, this is gonna be fun. If I get a backstab on this is gonna be amazing. It's definitely not bad for the pocketbook. So normally now I do orc strength, but I don't have that. So I wonder, I suppose I don't need the second copy of Brief History of the Empire. I'm pretty sure I already have Volume 1. If I don't, I need to, yep. So the only reason to keep going now would be to get more experience. Okay, well, fortunately, Flames is not the most stealthy of approaches. This is gonna be a pain. Okay, I have an idea. just shy. Won't bother with the ingredients, but I'm just gonna load up on books and gold. Alright, apparently there's more awful stuff coming for me. I also need to remember to keep casting the recall spell. This is not on my way back, but let's see if we can find some more nasty things. So this will be good for money, but I won't be able to pick it up. Oh, 1,000. I need it. I want it. Obviously, I can go further, but I can also keep playing this forever, and, wow! I was not expecting that. I don't think this is right. Alright, I obviously got it wrong, but at this point, I'll take what I've got and go. Alright, so as before, we're going to have a little bit of wandering to do. We'll start by going to the bank. should probably be looking to see if I can find a place to get some potions. The library may not be bad as well. Actually, bookstore would be better.
A warm hello to you, good Caius.
Okay, a bunch of bookstores to the north. This is partly just so I can get rid of my surplus. The idea here is I want to have one copy of every book in my cart, but I'd rather not have duplicates, which is why I'm keeping some of them in my inventory. Alright, so let's start by seeing... Hang on. Yeah, there we go. I'm specifically interested in whether or not he's got a copy of... Yes, he does.
You bargained me long and hard, Caius. Let us be done. I would normally charge more, but for you I only ask 424 gold. Truly, it is but a pittance.
Alright, let's read the final volume. Wait, I don't have my brief history of the Empire. What did I just pay for? There we go.
A Brief History of the Empire, Part 4. The first book in the series described in brief the first 8 emperors of the Septim dynasty, beginning with Tiber I. The second volume described the War of the Red Diamond and the 6 emperors who followed. The third volume describes the troubles of the next 3 emperors, the frustrated Uriel IV, the ineffectual Sepphoris II, and the heroic Uriel V. At Uriel V's death across the sea in distant hostile Akavir, Uriel VI was but 5 years old. In fact, Uriel VI was born only shortly before his father left for Akavir. Uriel V's only other progeny by a different woman were the twins Moratha and Eloisa, who had been born a month after Uriel V left. Uriel VI was coronated in the 290th year of the Third Era. The consort Thonica, as the boy's mother, was given a restricted regency until Uriel VI reached his minority. The council retained the real power, as they had ever since the days of Catariah I. The council so enjoyed its unlimited and unrestricted freedom to make laws and profits that Uriel VI was not given full license to rule until 307, when he was 22 years old. He had been slowly assuming positions of responsibility for years, but both the council and his mother, who enjoyed even her limited regency, were loath to give him reign. By the time he came to the throne, the mechanisms of government gave him little power, but the power to veto. This power he regularly exercised. By 313, Uriel VI could boast with conviction that he truly did rule Tamriel.
These bells are driving me nuts.
He utilized defunct spy networks and guard units to bully and coerce difficult members of the Elder Council. His sister was his usual ally after her marriage to Baron Ulf Gerson of Winterhold brought her considerable wealth and influence. As the sage Ugarij said, Uriel V conquered Ezranet, but Uriel VI conquered the Elder Council. When Uriel VI fell from his horse and could not be saved by the finest imperial healers, his beloved sister Moriatha took the throne. At 25 years of age, she had been described by, admittedly self-servingly, diplomatists as the most beautiful creature in Tamriel. She was certainly well-learned, vivacious, athletic, and a well-practiced politician. She brought the Archmagister of Skyrim to the Imperial City and celebrated the Second Imperial Battle Mage since the days of Tiber Septim. Moriatha finished the job her brother had begun and made the Imperial Province truly a government under the Empress. Outside the Imperial Province, however, the Empire had been slowly disintegrating. Open revolutions and civil wars had raged unchallenged since the days of her grandfather Sepphoris II. Carefully considering her counterattacks, Moriatha slowly took back her rebellious vassals, always avoiding...
I'm going to bring this up online. What the hell is this?
Always avoiding overextending herself. Through Moriatha's military campaign, though Moriatha's military campaigns were remarkable successful, the council was often frustrated by her deliberate pace. One councilman, an Argonian named Thorocles Romus, furious at her refusal to send troops to his troubled lands, is believed to be the man who hired the assassins who claimed her life in the Third Era 339. Romus was tried and executed, though he protested his innocence. Moriatha had no surviving children, and Eloisa had died from a fever 4 years before. Eloisa's 25-year-old son Pelagius was crowned Pelagius IV. Oh, actually, we did have this here, so... Pelagius IV continued his aunt's work, slowly bringing back the seditious kingdoms of his empire. He had Moriatha's patience and deliberate pace in his endeavors, but alas, he did not have her success. The kingdoms had been free of constraints for so long that even a benign imperial presence was odious. Nevertheless, when Pelagius died, after an astonishing 49-year reign, Tamriel was closer to unity than it had been since the days of Uriel I. Our current emperor, His Awesome and Terrible Majesty, Uriel Septim VII, son of Pelagius IV, has had the diligence of his great-aunt Moriatha, the political skill of his great-uncle Uriel VI, and the military prowess of his great-granduncle Uriel V. For 21 years he reigned and brought justice and order to Tamriel. In the year 3rd Era 389, his imperial battle mage Jagar Tharn betrayed him. Uriel VII was imprisoned in a dimension of Tharn's creation, and Tharn used his magic of illusion to assume the emperor's aspect. For the next 10 years, Tharn used imperial privileges, but did not continue Uriel VII's schedule of reconquest. It is not entirely known yet what Tharn's goals and personal accomplishments were during the 10 years he imitated his liege lord. In the 3rd Era 399, a mysterious champion...
Thank you.
Defeated the battle mage in the dungeons of the Imperial Palace and freed Uriel VII from his other dimensional cell. Since his release, Uriel VII has worked diligently to renew the battle to reunite Tamriel. Tharn's influence broke the momentum, but the years since have proven that this glorious golden age of Tiber Septim may be visited upon Tamriel once again.
Let's go through what we have already, that way I can double check that I don't have any duplicates in my inventory.
Etiquette with rulers. Because the rules are so complex and the stakes are so high, many people blanch at the thought of speaking with a noble with a title. For starters, it is important to address them correctly, for just as no one likes to be misnamed, no one likes to be mistitled. The problem is that in High Rock, traditions of peerage differ slightly from region to region. The base rules follow. There are 8 kingdoms in High Rock in the following regions: North Point, Daggerfall, Stornhelm, Camlorn, Farron, Evermore, Wayrest, and Johanna. If a woman is ruling one of these areas, she is called the queen. The husband of a queen and the wife of a king is not necessarily of equal rank. They may not be kings and queens themselves. Their children and are princes and princesses. Their grandchildren are also princes and princesses. If a male ruler dies, his wife takes the title of Dowager Queen, provided there is not a Dowager Queen already. Like all rules, there are exceptions. One noted exception took place recently in Daggerfall when King Lysandus died. In most regions, his wife Minisera would not have become Dowager Queen of Daggerfall because Lysandus' mother, the widow Nulfanga, still lived. In Daggerfall, however, it is permissible for there to be 2 persons with the same title. Thus, both Nulfanga and Minisera have the title Dowager Queen. If a female ruler who does not share rank with her husband dies, there is no male equivalent to the word dowager. Widowers of queens usually take another title, either a lesser family title or one given by their children. There have been few men in the history of High Rock who have fallen from being addressed as king to being addressed as Mr. at the death of their wife. Other regions are ruled by dukes and duchesses, marquises, and marquises, or marchionesses, counts and countesses, viscounts or viscountesses, barons or baronesses, and lords or ladies. The list is theoretically listed from the highest to lowest rank, but the ruler of a territory outranks all other nobles, regardless of title. Dwynnen, for example, is a barony, and the baron or baroness of Dwynnen outrank any other noble in that territory, even dukes and counts. In theory, again, this may not be the case according to local custom, the eldest son or daughter of a noble takes their parents' highest family title below their parents. Thus, the Duke of Northmoor, who is also the Marquise of Calder, had a daughter who became the Marchioness of Calder. Kings and queens are always addressed as Your Majesty in conversation. Dukes and duchesses, Your Grace. All other rulers may be addressed with their title and name, or Lord and Lady and their name. A few hints may be needed to determine exactly who rules a territory. You may rely on people on the streets to make reference to their ruler, but that may not be enough. After all, if the gossip involved Lord Beamish and Viscountess Beard, neither or both could be the ruler of the territory. Territory. I have found that a more predictable method is to pay some attention to the names of taverns and shops in a region. By tradition, many of these are called the Duke's Fox, the Lady's Provisions. This, more often than not, is the name of the ruler. The shop's name is Lady Anisa's Provisions, or Lord Boxworth's Fox. That is probably the name of the local titled merchant, not the ruler. A store with an unnamed ruler's title has probably been around for some time and does not bother to change its name with the new name of the ruler. In speaking with any person, a ruler or not, it is best to know what sort of person they are first. Rulers tend to stand on ceremony and prefer that people addressing them speak politely and deferentially. There are, of course, exceptions to this. Exceptions? Jesus! Particularly among younger rulers, or rulers new to their positions. They may prefer a bolder, slangy style. If you are unsure, or unsure of your ability to adopt the vocabulary of either an aristocrat or a criminal, choose to speak as plainly and directly as possible. You will seldom charm someone by plain talk, but you will also not alienate by mangled polities or dated slang. Alienating a ruler, I need not tell you, can be the last mistake one can make.
Was that clear to everyone? Alright, we all have multiple volume works now. So first thing I'm going to do is filter this for books. Excellent. We have no duplicates. So let's see if there's anything else I want. Nope, that's it. don't know if the general store will sell potions. Apparently you buy potions at, at temples. I don't know if there's a Temple of Akatosh nearby. Alright, well, while we're waiting, let's see what we can sell. Alright, looks like I don't have a lot of options here.
Fenrir's Quality General Store prides itself on having the lowest prices in Mercester. Though you bargained with me until the sun is low in the sky, I can sell it for no less than 283 gold pieces.
The holidays sound like a reasonably useful piece of information. My lady.
By the frozen wastes, it's good to see you, Caius.
Alright, again we'll head to the Mages Guild first. That way we can get a quest and I can stop by the Fighters Guild. That might just turn in at the Fighters Guild, but we'll see.
Tough little beggar, eh? Well, you've certainly earned your pay.
I'll get some training in first. I don't think there's much I can do with that. I was hoping they might be able to sell me some potions. I might want to check out some of these bookshelves, but I've been doing a lot of reading tonight, so we'll leave it be for now.
Are you a loyal member of the Mages Guild? You are a loyal member of the Mages Guild, are you not, magician? I have some guild business of the gravest import that I would like you to handle.
Name it.
Very good. There's a rebel mage that we need eliminated by the name of Baltham Grayman, a former pupil of mine. He showed some promise, but lacked the loyalty to the ancient principles of the guild that are so important to its continued survival. We've learned that he's currently doing some kind of unsanctioned research over in Longbury, apparently oblivious to his danger. You have 10 days to dispose of this menace and report back to me.
Alright, now we'll put a little hustle into our movement.
I didn't expect to see you again, Caius. No fooling. Oblivion must be looking after you. Here's your 411 gold. Enjoy it. Here, take this mop to Theodric Laboratory. Should be just the kind of thing that a lich killer like you does before breakfast. I'm Denorvan Garefield, and I have a relatively menial job, if you're willing to take it. Actually, some of the members prefer these jobs because they pay just as well as the more difficult ones. A house here in town is infested with giant rodents. The wife claims that they're rats, the husband claims that they're bats. Either way, they want them gone. Are you interested?
Sure, it's an easy one.
The bats have invested Dr. Andrin's sundries. Go in there and kill them all, and you'll get your pay. I can only give you 1 day to finish this one.
Hello, could you please tell me where I can find Andrin's sundries?
It's awfully close by. It'd be best if I mocked Dr. Andrin's sundries on your map.
Should check out the superior weaponry afterwards, just in case. I hope I didn't get poisoned. Okay, well, that's that then. Apparently I'm blind. There we go.
Killing bats, even giant one, doesn't take that much skill, but it pays the same, huh?
Alright. Longbury. Can you tell me where I can find Baltham Greyman?
Last time I checked, it was in the Moorsmith residence, southwest of here.
Where may I find the Moorsmith residence? Southwest is not the most helpful. Perfect. Now, it's right in front of me. This is gonna suck. You know what, there's no point in doing it this way. Just use my spells. I used to have the proper spell points. Oh no.
So, Mordnak Woodfield has sent another of his lackeys to bring me to heel. The old woman who run the Mages Guild have no sense of adventure and take no risks, dare nothing and learn nothing. I've never lifted a finger against them except to repudiate their control. Yet simply because I refuse to abide by their rules, the Mages Guild would slay me. Why do you give them your blind obedience, killing on command like a hired assassin? Join me, and we will defy them all.
No.
Well then, I shall have to convince you the hard way. Defend yourself, mageling!
This is a slap fight between two nerds. Alright, well this guy wasn't worth following, obviously.
The 15th of Morningstar is a holiday taken very seriously in Mercister, where they call in the South Wind's Prayer, a plea by all the religious of Tamriel for a good planting season. Citizens with every affliction known in Tamriel flock to the services of the town's temples, as the clergy is known to perform free healings on this day. Only a few will be judged worthy of this service, but few can afford the temple's usual price.
At this point, I think a trip directly to the Mages Guild is in order. So I have about a 5-hour wait ahead of me. This game really made a strong effort to make sure that the horse noises weren't annoying.
Very good, Magician. The Mages Guild cannot survive if we do not enforce our own rules, harsh as they may seem. I made this jay myself as a token of my appreciation for your service to the Mages Guild.
Powers unknown. I'll check out the library in a little bit, but let's identify first. Jesus, no.
I don't know if you can assist me at all, Caius. I'm looking for a mage powerful enough to cast the spell Banish Daedra with little chance of failure. Could you?
Sadly, no.
Ah, well, the search goes on.
Yeah, that's well beyond my abilities right now.
I am Morag Woodfield, servant of the mighty Dunyak Garecroft. I have been instructed to find guild members to protect him while he lies in a spell trance. Dunyak Garecroft suspects that a rival may send assassins to slay him while he is helpless. He will give you an ensorcelled short sword if the assassins are stopped. Will you take up this quest?
Absolutely.
As I expected, Dunyak Garecroft is just beginning his 3-hour trance, so you must guard the mage's guild during that time to protect him while he is vulnerable. At the end of his trance, he will be transported to Aetherius. Once he is safe, the guild will send someone with your reward. Stand aside, apprentice whelp. We mean to cut down Dunyak Garecroft before he can awaken. Move, or we'll cut you down too.
This is a chance to practice my healing. It's hard to tell how many there were. I'm assuming I can't bother him while he's in his trance.
Young woman in deep blue robes bows low before you. The guild sends its compliments on a job well done. Dunyak Garecroft is most grateful. Here is the short sword he promised.
No, cool. It's not worth it from compared to my existing weapons, but it's not a bad ability.
My name is Morag Woodfield, and we need someone to kill a rogue imp for us.
Always happy to help.
Fine attitude, Caius. There is one thing I did not tell you. This imp was a familiar to a very high-ranking mage. It seems the imp fell into an experimental spell and has been imbued with all manner of spell-like powers. You can find the creature at the Palace of Knightstown. Apparently, it thinks it is fit to rule. Do be careful, Caius. If you're not back within 12 days, we shall assume that you are dead.
Alright, now before I head out, I also just want to see if there's titles that might tell me about Daedra.
The Brothers of Darkness. As their name suggests, the Dark Brotherhood has a history shrouded in obfuscation. Their ways are secret to those who are not brothers of the Order. Brothers is the generic term. Some of the deadliest of the assassins are female, but they are called brothers as well. They continue to exist in shadow, but can be easily found by those desperate enough to pay for their services, is not the least of their mysteries. The Dark Brotherhood sprang from a religious order, the Morag Tong, during the Second Era. The Morag Tong were worshippers of the Daedra spirit Mephila, who encouraged them to commit ritual murders. In their early years, they were as disorganized as cultists usually are. There was no one to lead the group, and as a group they dared not murder of any importance. This changed with the rise of the Night Mother. All leaders of Morag Tong, and then the Dark Brotherhood, have been called the Night Mother. Whether the same woman has commanded the Dark Brotherhood since the Second Era is unknown. What is believed is that the original Night Mother developed an important belief that of the Morag Tong. The first belief is that, while Mephila grows stronger with every murder committed in her name, certain murders were better than others. Murders that came from hate pleased Mephila more than murders committed because of greed. Murders of great men and women pleased Mephila more than murders of unknown. We can approximate the time this belief was adopted with the first known murder committed by the Morag Tong. In the year 324 of the Second Era, the potentate Veristu She was murdered in his palace in what today is the Elsewhere kingdom of Senchal. In a brash move, the Night Mother announced the identity of the murderers by painting Morag Tong on the walls in the potentate's blood. Previous to that time, the Morag Tong existed in relative peace, like a witch's coven. Occasionally persecuted, but usually ignored, in a remarkable synchronicity at a time when the arena was a fractured land, the Morag Tong was outlawed throughout the continent. Every sovereign gave the cult's elimination his highest priority. Nothing more was officially heard from them for 100 years. It is more difficult to date the era when the Morag Tong re-emerged as the Dark Brotherhood. Assassin guilds have sporadically appeared throughout the history of Tamriel. The first mention of the Dark Brotherhood that I have found is from the journal of Queen Arametha of Higath. She spoke of slaying her enemies by her own hand, or, if necessity, with the help of the Night Mother and her Dark Brotherhood, the secret arsenal my family have employed since my grandfather's time. Arlimahera wrote this in the Second Era 412, so one can surmise that the Dark Brotherhood had been in existence since at least 360, if her grandfather truly used them. The important distinction between the Dark Brotherhood and the Morag Tong was that the Brotherhood was a business as much as a cult. Rulers and wealthy merchants now used the order as an assassin's guild. The Brotherhood gained the obvious benefits of a profitable enterprise, as well as the secondary benefit that no longer could rulers actively persecute them. They were needed. Even an extremely virtuous leader...
I'm gonna have to find the text again. Although changing the... Yeah.
Extremely virtuous leader would be unwise to mistreat the Brotherhood. Not long after Alamera's journal entry about them was penned, came perhaps the most famous series of executions in the history of the Dark Brotherhood. The Colovian Emperor, potentate Severian Chorak, every one of his heirs was murdered in one bloody night on Sun's Dawn in 430. Within a fortnight, the Colovian dynasty crumbled, to the delight of its enemies. For over 400 years, until the age of Tiber Septim, chaos reigned over Tamriel. Though no comparably impressive executions have been recorded, the Brotherhood must have grown fat with gold during that age. The Dark Brotherhood has no shortage of business opportunities, and accounting, I have been informed, is the Brotherhood's favorite euphemism for execution. While they are officially an unlawful organization, in every corner of the Empire, like the Thieves' Guild, they are almost universally tolerated.
I despise them.
An overview of gods and worship in Tamriel. Editor's note. Brother Hetchfield is an associate scribe at the Imperial University, Office of Introductory Studies. Gods are commonly viewed by the evidence of their interest in worldly matters. A central belief in the active participation of deities in mundane matters can be challenged by evidence of apathy on part of the gods during the time of plague or famine. From intervention in legendary quests to manifestation in common daily life, no pattern for the gods of Tamriel activities is readily apparent. The concerns of gods in many ways seem unrelated to or at best unconcerned with the daily trials of the mortal realm. The exceptions do exist, however. Many historical records and legends point to the direct intervention of one or more gods at the time of great need. Many heroic tales account blessings of the divinity bestowed upon heroic figures who worked or quested for the good of a deity or a deity's temple. Some of the more powerful artifacts in the known world were originally bestowed upon their owners through such reward. It has also been reported that priests of high ranking in their temples may on occasion call upon their deity for blessings or help in time of need. The exact nature of such contact and blessings bestowed is given to much speculation, as the temples hold such associations secret and holy. This direct contact gives weight to the belief that the gods are aware of the mortal realm. In many circumstances, however, these gods will do nothing in the face of suffering and death, seeming to not feel the need to interfere. It is thus possible to conclude that we as mortals may not be capable of understanding more than a small fraction of the reasoning and logic such beings use. One defining characteristic of all gods and goddesses is their interest in worship and deeds. Deeds in the form of holy quests are just one of the many things that bring the attention of a deity. Deeds in everyday life, by conforming to the statutes and obligations of individual temples, are commonly supposed to please a deity. Performance of ceremony in a temple may also bring a deity's attention. Ceremonies vary according to the individual deity. The results are not always apparent, but sacrifice and offerings are usually required to have any hope of gaining a deity's attention. While direct intervention in daily temple life has been recorded, the exact nature of the presence of a god in daily mundane life is up to great speculation. A traditional saying of the Wood Elves goes, "One man's miracle is another man's accident." While some gods are believed to take an active part in daily life, others are well known for their lack of interest in temporal affairs. It has been theorized that gods do in fact gain strength from such things as worship through praise, sacrifice, and deed. It may even be theorized that a number of worshippers a given deity has may reflect on his overall position amongst the other gods. This is my own conjecture, garnered from the apparent ability of larger temples to attain blessings and assistance from their god with greater ease than smaller religious institutions. There are reports of the existence of spirits in our world that have the same capacity to use the actions and deeds of mortals to strengthen themselves as do the gods. The understanding of the exact nature of such creatures would allow us to understand with more clarity the connection between a deity and the deity's worshippers. The implication of the existence of such spirits leads to the speculation that these spirits may even be capable of raising themselves to the level of a god or goddess. Matuso of the Imperial Seminary has suggested that these spirits may be the remains of gods and goddesses who through time lost all or most of their following, reverting to their earliest, most basic form. Practitioners of the old ways say that there are no gods, just greater and lesser spirits. Perhaps it is possible for all three theories to be true.
Mildly curious about the fall of the usurper because that was tied to the brief history of Tamriel.
The fall of the usurper. The people of Dwynn celebrate Othroctide every 5th of Sun's Dawn, the date when, according to legend, a man emerged from the wilderness of High Rock and defeated the undead at Castle Waitmore to become the first Baron of Dwynn. Few people believe the legend anymore, but there's most certainly a Baron Othark of Dwynn who is destined to become one of the true heroes of High Rock, if not all Tamriel. The legend, as most any Dwynn child will tell you, is that years and years ago, archivists have agreed to the year 3rd Era 253, the people of Dwynn were ruled by a Lich and its armies of zombies, ghosts, vampires, and skeletons. Othrock was blessed by the gods and given an army of men and animals to destroy the dead. He brought peace and prosperity to the land, growing more powerful as the land improved. Years later, he led a tiny barony against the Cameron usurper, and saved all of Tamriel. How much credit the Baron ought to receive for the defeat of the Cameron usurper has been debated, but it is an uncontestable fact that in the year Third Era 267, the Cameron usurper's relentless move north through High Rock was halted around the area of contemporary Dwynnon. Dwynnon is actually larger than it was in the first Baron's day. It did not, in fact, have a seaport, but the Battle of Firewaves was a coastal battle. The fact that the battle probably did not occur in Dwynnon does not in itself belittle the Baron's participation in it. The Cameron usurper had conquered Hammerfell and Valenwood by means of a large army, which by legend consisted entirely of undead and Daedra, but was mostly composed of red guards and wood elves. In all probability, the usurper summoned the Daedra and undead in Aranthina and slowly replaced the original summoned creatures with the armies of his conquered territories. Most armies of Valenwood have been historically mercenary. Word of the usurper's conquest reached High Rock in early 266, but preparations to repel the invasion did not begin until early the following year. Historians attribute two factors to High Rock's hesitancy. The primary powers of the Bay were ruled by particularly inept monarchs. Wayrest and Sentinel both had kings in their minority, and Daggerfall was torn by contention between Helena and her cousin Gilath. The Lord of Reich Gradkeep, now Anticlair, was deathly ill through 266 and finally died at the end of the year. There was, in short, no leaders to unite the province against the usurper. Of the leaders with any influence, at least 8, the 8 traitors of legend, made secret allegiances with the usurper to protect their lands. The secondary reason for the lethargy of High Rock had to do with the depth of relations between the province and the Septim Empire. For the first time since the beginning of the dynasty, an emperor ruled Tamriel who was neither Breton nor had spent any of his childhood in High Rock. The difference between Sepphoris II and his cousin Uriel IV, who preceded him, was appalling to the people of High Rock. Even mad emperors like Pelagius III revered the Bretons over all other races, and cousins and younger siblings of the emperors have ruled in High Rock since the foundation of the empire. Sepphoris was a Nord with Skyrim and Morrowind sympathies. The attitude of the common man in High Rock was sympathetic towards the Cameron usurper and an arch foe of the hated emperor. The Baron had his less legendary allies. The rulers of Yaklon, Phrygia, and Cambria changed this favorable perception. News of the usurper's barbaric treatment of captives and abuse of unconquered lands, mostly true, spread rapidly through the territories and other neutral lands. Within a few months, the greatest navy ever organized along the High Rock edge of Iliac Bay. Only the navy of Uriel V's ill-fated invasion of Akavir was comparable. How the combined forces of High Rock defeated the endless army of the Cameron usurper is certainly worthy of a lengthy book in itself, and perhaps it is best left to the public imagination. Certainly the weather worked against the usurper, which is the reason in itself to attribute divine intervention. Baron Othrock's divine purpose is the central theme of Othrocktide, after all, and the poet Bralock wrote, "To find the facts, the wisest always look first to fiction."
I think I already went through these. Alright, let's find an imp to kill. I'm certainly very happy to see the palace so close. Maybe I should see if there's a pawn shop in this city.
The shop is better appointed than many. Its wares lie neatly on the shelves. Although not fit for a king, they are all skillfully crafted.
I forgot to identify the amulet.
I'll give the price I only offer my closest friends and family. The market value of that is much less, but I think I can give you 5,244 gold.
Done. Let's also try and find the Mages Guild. Just for some extra training. Ah, there is none. I suppose I could have got training in the Fighters Guild, but too late now. We'll go to the bank first. Alright, there's still not much for me to do other than just quests for the Mages Guild right now. I'll maybe take a quick look at my journal, but unless I want to try and find the next part of the main quest line, I should carry on as I am.
We need you to get a rare ingredient that is hidden away in a nearby dungeon. You will get a finder's fee of 492 gold pieces. Are you interested?
I really don't like doing these kinds of hunts, but it'll definitely give me something else to do.
Excellent attitude, Caius. If you are looking for giant's blood, which can be found in the Theodric laboratory. You have 11 days to bring it back.
I actually got a map for that earlier. Oh, I didn't investigate this.
On Oblivion. It is proper, though common, to refer to the... Oh, I think I've already read this already. Looks like we found it already. It's nice when it arrives during the day. Well then. Tried to hit the heal button, but I don't think it was queued. There's still so many. I wonder if that's a trapdoor or something. Oh, Christ almighty. Burrell
paralysis is the worst. So there was a second one. Okay, so battle mages apparently are no joke now. Do I seriously have to leap down a hole? I question this dungeon design. Oh my god, what is this game? Ah. Alright, this sucks now. So apparently if you can't swim, you have no hope. Oh my god. Alright, so first things first. I'm gonna do a recall spell. Wait, so that forces me to cast this, but this doesn't make any sense. This is actually such a useless way of doing this because I'm just gonna fall back into the water again. So presumably levitate is the answer here. Nice. Oh, Christ almighty, so it's not actually letting me up on this. Oh, that's frustrating. And we're back to this nonsense. Alright, well, this is gonna be... Alright, I'm gonna save us a world of frustration. Don't even feel bad about cheating now. Oh god, I don't feel bad about cheating. I hate this game. Why not? This is gonna hurt. I think I'm out of feeling. I knew it was a trap. More paralysis, just what I was looking for. This again. So again, I can just teleport if ever we get to a dead end, but obviously there's no way for me to get past the start, so. Apparently I cannot overcome the cow to get the loot. I have to levitate over the pen. It's not worth it. In future, I want to be a battle mage. I suppose the one good thing is that I'm getting a lot of experience with restoration, which will hopefully help me out with the Mages Guild. Okay, before I go too far, I want to see if this is the same elevator I was looking at before. Apparently not. Alright, so this is another one of these actually impossible to use elevators that they like putting in the game so much. That's a bit of searching that I just lost. I think in this case I'm gonna fast forward to the next part. Oh, if this is supposed to be the giant's blood, I'm gonna be so mad. Apparently there is no way for me to get it. There we go. This looks like the giant's blood in Morag Woodfield wanted. Not happening. I might have to save and reset for the, Yeah, I'm flabbergasted how a normal player is supposed to do this dungeon. happy to find that my skills have gone up, but I have a feeling it'll take me a little while before I can level up as a result. To hang out for a bit. Hooray. Alright. I believe intelligence gives me the spell points.
I suppose this will do. Couldn't you brought back a fresher sample? The quality of guild members just isn't what it used to be. Well, here's your finder's fee, Caius.
I'm gonna get some training before we do anything else. I can't remember if we got any magical items as well. I feel like we did. Maybe I lost them to one of the mishaps. I do rather wish there was a way to filter. Obviously, you don't need to identify anything that isn't magical, but it does not give you the option to do that. That's one we already identified. Cool. I'm not even gonna look.
Well, I had work, but I hired the Fighters Guild to do it.
Well, thank you. Just gonna take a quick second here to see where I am at in the Mages Guild. Alright, so I need two more, levels. Let's see what my stats are. Alright, so my destruction's high enough for any level. So, illusion, I'm assuming restoration is the next. Ooh, that's still just 51, so restoration's gonna be what's holding me back. I'm going to need to get that to level 63.
I don't know if you can assist me at all, Kaiest. I'm looking for a mage powerful enough...
Not a chance.
The people of Daggerfall have been demanding that the Mages Guild take a stand against the mad wizard who has been terrorizing the land for some time now. Now, by the order of the Archmagister himself, we are going to do just that. I know it's hardly an assignment a scholarly institution should give, but would you be willing to and able to pay the mad wizard a call and then hack him to pieces?
Of course, that's what I do best.
Excellent. I knew that you would not let us down, Caius. Now then, Bedard Harsmith will be in the laboratory in the ruins of Gerhardt Manor for at most 9 days before moving to a new location. The king wants word that the mage is dead in 9 days, so do not tarry after doing the deed. I will see you in 9 days. Thank you, and good luck, Caius.
This one we can do reckless. not sure if this was the wisest one that I could have picked up, because obviously these things are winding and hard to follow, but we'll work with what we've got. My ears. My ears. Run for your lives! I really wish it would tell me what effects I'm under. More ghosts. The only thing I'm really worried about for those are, the fact that they paralyze, or I think they can. Something wild was going on the other side of that wall. Alright, I'm being a little paranoid with my saves now. So one of the nice things here is I kind of just went charging down a hall, because if I need to end the broadcast before the level's done, I haven't really lost any kind of systematic thinking. Doing well for money, although my training costs have also gone up quite a bit. hard to see sometimes. Again, apparently all sorts of excitement going on through that wall, but nothing I can deal with yet. Oh, maybe we're getting closer. Just a nice little room for me to deal with ghosts. Okay, I get it. Probably should have taken a look to see places that I haven't been yet. Okay, so this is one spot where I believe we've finished exploring. Ah, okay. Perfect. Never fails. Paralysis is by far the worst feature of this game. There's absolutely nothing enjoyable about just standing and watching yourself being hit for an extended period of time. The one time it doesn't get the paralysis off. these, so... Why is this game like this? I just need to find one crazed spellcaster and kill him, that's all. It's not so much to ask, the grand scheme of things. Ah! Maybe this will work. Ha ha! That's not enough to fix paralysis, but it gave me a lease on life. Still not enough. What's the damage? The other thing that's a little, just grating about the paralysis thing is because it is such a bummer to get hit. It does create this scenario where you sometimes want to save before opening every door so that what just happened there doesn't happen. Why waste our time? I was gonna head out in a little bit, but I'm pretty sure I just saw lightning. What is it with this game? Oh, Jesus, I don't want to open an 18. This may take a while. Well, that was worth it. I don't really have that much much use for the potion, but... Okay then. Potion of healing might be a little helpful when the paralysis strikes. I'm going to be very happy not to hear that sound anymore. Well, I did say I was going to use the item. It's probably a little premature, though. No, this is tedious to sit through. One less paralysis to worry about. I'll leave this P for now. Deal with this other hallway. Now I'm stuck on it. Fun. This is going to be a mistake. least I'm getting goodies. But I still need to find the wizard. Alright, so this is not so bad actually, because I was wondering if I could ever access this. Jesus, I don't know if I have part 10 or not. I think I have multiple copies of part 8. Okay, so this brings me back on track. Sneaky. I think this brings me back on track for the path that I was following. Sure. Okay, so there shouldn't be anything in here, right? And I know there was a door I was meaning to go through. Okay, I haven't gone up here. There was a door that led to sort of a three-way path that I need to get back to if I can. Oops. So I'm pretty sure all those doors are going to open up as soon as I try to take stuff. Mind you, it'll be a good fight for getting some healing up. We'll meet them at the hot gates where their numbers count for nothing. My brilliant scheme apparently did not account for the fact that I would run out of encumbrance. Those gold pieces. Alright, how many duplicate books do I have? Part 10, 1, 5. Okay, King Edward VII. King Edward VIII. mistake. So unless I cast Orc Strength, none of this is gonna matter. Mind you, it is kind of tempting. Restoration went up, that's good news. Okay, let's work quick. If I need to stop dropping stuff, I will, but for now, let's take what I can. Okay. So I should be good to go for cash, although I won't be able to pick up anything else here. Alright, we're back on track. I don't need that kind of negativity right now. No, we have not been here before. Okay, time to cast Arc Strength again. It's actually a small argument that in this case it's worth it because we've got 3 piles of gold. It's worth over 1,000. But I'm currently sitting on 13,000 right now, so I think I can live without. force of habit. And apparently we've been here already. Can the wizard just teleport here and we can be done with this? Like 1,500 gold I've had to give up. Because I can't carry anymore. He's a zombie mage, okay, that's it, we're done. Apparently I've been here though. I think I just misread the map. Should take a look just in case. If there's like a book that I really need, I might try and pick it up. Oh no. nice to include a go back to your last surface button, but it's meaningless if it counts the fall damage. Now I need to remember how to get back to those places I haven't investigated yet. Oh, well, that solves that. Wizard. You are not the wizard. All right. Kinda think like I need to rest so I can heal up again. I was gonna say, one thing I could do is drop the Mithril Saber for more space, but then the whole point of me picking it up was why I knew I had more encumbrance because of orc strength, so that won't work out. Found you.
You've slain Bedard Heartsmith, the mad wizard of the ruins of Gerhardt Manor.
In quite literally what I think is the last possible place I could look. And now I get the fun of trying to find my way back out of here. You know what? I hate doing this, but there's no benefit in making you all sit through this at the very end of the cast, so we're gonna cheat our way back to the start. Oh yeah, I wouldn't have even guessed that. So I was wrong. There was one other place I could have looked. Alright. Let's just dump what we can. Alright, that was unexpected. Now it's 6 in the evening. I might still be able to make it to the Mages Guild. being 6 p.m., it's maybe not so likely that the Mage's Guild will be open, but we can be hopeful. Give me my money. Before I do that. Give me my money.
Once again, you astonish me with your skill and efficiency, Caius. An excellent job. The king will be as pleased as I am. Here is the helm I promised. Enjoy it.
I don't think I'd be able to use this anyway, but it is annoying that I'm not able to pick this up.
Oh!
I can't rest in the... Ah! Surely there is a way I can get power. I believe I had a shirt at some point too. Actually, maybe I just let the old one disintegrate and I haven't been wearing a shirt since. I'll have to get another if that's so. I'm gonna have to go through all of this to find my helm again too. Not the smartest move I've ever made. You know what? Not worth looking for right now.
Are you Caius, the magician? Ah, good. I have a letter for you. Apparently, more than simple chance brought you here.
And with that, we will leave the story for another time. Thank you everybody for watching, and we'll see you next time.